Hey, what's up guys, it's Hayden.
Hey, and I'm Emma. Welcome back to our channel. We've got another review for you today, and it is the review of the Disney Plus series Loki. We did mean to bring this out a bit sooner, but we've had some trailers to react to, so we can't prioritize them, sorry. But if you are here watching, thank you so much for coming back and hearing our thoughts. Now, this is going to be a spoiler review. I feel like this series is going to be a bit hard to talk about without spoiling things, so if you haven't seen it yet, definitely check it out and then come back and watch our review.
Absolutely.
But yeah, just heads up, spoilers.
So Loki follows the Tyler character after he escapes capture by using the Tesseract to go through a portal. On the other side of the portal, he encounters an agency called the TVA, who then decide to recapture him. I find this show was kind of like the weirdness of WandaVision with like our typical kind of straightforward Marvel style. It was kind of like a nice balance between the two. And I'm glad that we actually get a show focusing on Loki, because I think he's an actual really interesting character. I think he's one of the more dynamic characters in the MCU. He's not wholly a villain, he's not really a hero at all. He's kind of, somewhere in between, right? Like, obviously he's done some really bad things, but we have seen his softer side as well. So he's a really complex character that I think exploring that character makes a good premise for a show.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's a very fascinating and very charismatic character, and I think it was a good choice to make a solo show around him. And I have to say, this was, out of all the Marvel series that have been released, this is the one I was most looking forward to. However, I can't help but feel like I didn't get everything that I was wanting.
Right.
And I can't put my finger on it.
There's something missing.
There was just something about the show. I just didn't love it as much as I thought I was going to. Don't get me wrong, I did really enjoy it. When we got to the last episode and it ended, I just felt a little bit flat, like, I was really expecting to love it a bit more.
Yep. I think it was leading up to something massive, and I think the finale might have just let us down a little bit. I don't know if it kind of, because it was kind of leading up to something, we were going to see these timekeepers or whatever, right? And it was leading up to that and leading up to that and leading up to something big. And then we kind of got this, I guess, Kang the Conqueror variant. And that's who, I guess, the speculation is that this guy is. I'm pretty sure it's been confirmed right now that he's a Kang the Conqueror variant. But this variant isn't really the bad version of Kang the Conqueror. He's just kind of sitting in a chair, and there's just like this massive dialogue scene that kind of wraps up the final episode. So I know what you mean. I kind of felt, I wouldn't say disappointed, probably a little bit flat towards the end.
I don't think I was disappointed by the show. I just was expecting and wanting a bit more from it. As I said, I can't really, say exactly what it was, but flat. That's all I just felt a bit flat.
Now, that's not to say this series didn't have some really good moments.
Oh, no.
It definitely had all the weird, wacky craziness you would expect from a Loki show, and obviously exploring all these multiverses now. So I like what they did there. I didn't mind the story, and obviously, the whole storyline of his variant and hunting down his own variant. And then we get introduced to Sylvie.
Sylvie, yeah. Which, while I liked her character, I think this might have been a big issue for me that kind of led to me not overly happy with the show. I just don't know how I feel about that relationship between Sylvie and Loki.
And I think a lot of people are going to have the same thoughts. It was a bit of a weird relationship. I don't know whether it should have gone all the way that it did, Yeah, I think it's fine to have the joke that he's got this romantic attraction to himself, but I don't know if they should have taken it to that level. Maybe hinted at it, maybe had this kind of tension there between them, but I don't know whether they should have taken it all the way.
Should have crossed the line.
Yeah, a little bit weird.
Because Sylvie is Loki in female
Female
form
version of Loki, essentially.
from another dimension, and so technically he's hooking up with himself, and that's just weird to me.
Yeah, that's like, looking at yourself in the mirror and,
how you doing?
How you doing? Yeah.
I'm all for, feeling yourself, and, but,
Bit much.
But yeah, I don't know, she was fine, that whole relationship was a bit ick for me.
I get that,
And I think also because it while I enjoyed seeing the softer side of Loki, I don't think I wanted to see him that soft. Like,
it was a bit of a quick turn, wasn't
Yeah.
it? We've got to remember, like, this is just after the events of New York, because in Endgame they go back in time, and that's when Loki escapes and goes through the portal using the Tesseract. So this is just after the events of New York, when he was kind of at his worst. And I kind of feel like this good turn was a little bit too quick, you know? It kind of happened in the space of a few weeks. I think we should have still seen a little bit of that kind of real, kind of mischievous, bold, you know, arrogant kind of Loki. I think that should have come through maybe a little bit more. And then maybe just, again, showing those little hints of his softer side, but not kind of going all the way like they did. I feel like, yeah, with this show, I think a lot of the ideas, they probably just went a little bit too far with. They were good in theory, but they probably just went that step too far when they should have kind of maybe held back and stopped.
Yeah. Like, well, I still liked him as a character, and Tom Hiddleston is great. Like, he can be the only one to do Loki well, in my opinion. Like, he is the character now. I just don't think this transition was organic enough for me. Like, it just... Like, how old is Loki? He's been this kind of mischief of God for thousands of years.
Yeah.
To then, like, change like that.
Yeah, well, that's his character arc, right?
Yeah.
Like, a character arc's got to be earned. It just can't happen like that. It's got to be earned, and I don't think seeing himself killed by Thanos is enough to warrant that turn. Like, I feel like it'd have to be something more than that. Like, maybe seeing his brother killed. Like, maybe seeing Thor killed in the future or something like that. I think that would be more of, I guess, oh, shit. And then he finally realizes kind of how much he actually does care for his brother.
But look, it was still enjoyable to watch.
Yeah.
I think Owen Wilson was great.
Owen Wilson was a great inclusion.
Yeah, I really liked him as Mobius, and seeing him and Loki together was a lot of fun.
I think that show was at its best when those two were kind of bouncing off each other.
Yeah. I have to say, in the very first episode, when Owen Wilson came into it, I have to say, I did find his character a little bit cringe. I don't know why, but even like, as soon as I saw it in the trailer with that talky line, I just kind of thought it was a bit lame.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, but it got better, didn't it?
It got better, but I was like, oh, you're a bit cringy.
But that's not really him. Like, that's the writing.
That's the writing, yeah.
Which, Marvel is known to kind of, you know, be a little bit jokey in its writing and try to be a bit more lighthearted. And sometimes it works really well. And, you know, there's a couple of misses here and there.
He definitely got better, though. And I really enjoyed seeing them both on screen and just seeing how their sort of journeys went along.
Yeah, I just wanted him to go, wow, at least once. Just once. Just for meme's sake.
Just one.
Just one. Is that too much to ask, Owen? Come on, mate.
It should be written in his contract.
It's going to be written in his contract. He must say, wow, at least once per movie. Once per show. It's got to happen.
Maybe that's why we were let down.
Maybe that's it. It wasn't actually anything else. It was just that Owen Wilson didn't say that. That was the biggest letdown.
Oh, no, but seriously, I did like it. And anything Tom Hiddleston's in, you know, we're going to enjoy. He, as I said, he's the only Loki. He does the character well. I think I read something that he actually said he would play Loki for the rest of his life if he could, and I think give it to him. He's brilliant as this character, and I love watching him on screen.
And that's just a credit to the casting of the Marvel characters. I think they've done a great job casting all of these characters. You know, no one else can play them. You know, all of them are just perfectly suited to their roles. And I think that's just, a massive credit. You know, they've done that really well. And I think the other thing, you know, Marvel does really well is the world building. I think that was one of the high points of Loki, was just the way they expanded the world, expanded the universe. Took us somewhere that we hadn't really been before.
Obviously, there was a lot of CGI in this show. There had to have been. These worlds are so elaborate. But, you know, they did the CGI well. I think the worlds looked really cool, really fascinating, especially, you know, the world where the Lokis are.
Oh, yeah. I think that was one of my favourite episodes, I think.
Yeah.
I love that episode with all, like, the Loki variants and, the old school one with, like, the old school uniform and the crocodile one.
That was so great.
That was all fun.
And then ultimately the place where they end up and meet Kang. Is that his name?
Kang, yeah.
You know, there was a bit more set design in that place, but just the whole world building was really cool. I have to say all of these multiverses and timelines, my head is starting to hurt a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was having to pause and be like, okay, hang on, fill me in. Where are we at again?
And that's probably the issue that they are going to find is the more crazy they make this universe, the harder it is to kind of have it all make sense.
Yeah.
So I think they probably do need to be careful there. But, if anyone can do it, it's those guys at Marvel Studios. I think they haven't failed us yet. So, yeah.
I think the next season is going to be better. I think there's going to be a lot more happening in this new season.
Like that twist at the end, I thought was really interesting, right? So you've got Loki in this new timeline, and Mobius doesn't recognize him at all. And then you've got the statue of King the Conqueror that's like towering over them. So that seems really interesting. So whether they explore that in another season of Loki, or whether they explore that in the new Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah, I mean, they could potentially touch on it in Doctor Strange, but I feel like where are they going to go with season 2 of Loki if they don't?
Yeah.
I feel like season 2 has kind of been set up to be, how do they?
Well, that's the thing I'm still trying to figure out. I'm still
now?
trying to figure out whether all these shows are leading into movies or if they're leading into second seasons of the shows. So I'm really interested to see kind of how they link all of that together. Because now not only have they got the movies going, but they've got the shows going as well. And somehow they've got to make them all link up.
Yeah. And I think it would be interesting how they can tell these stories in the movies. Because I feel like not everyone would be going out and watching these series.
Yeah.
So if they are going to start tying in characters and storylines from the series into the new movies coming out, are people who aren't watching the series going to be able to follow the movies? That was just a thought I had, because some people are just there for the movies. Like, are they actually going to be able to work out who's who and what's going on?
Yeah.
Anyway, it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. High hopes for the second season. I'll definitely be watching it.
Of course. We'll be watching anything Marvel. They've just done a fantastic job with storytelling. With all the movies and TV shows, so even though we say, this one, probably wasn't as good as we hoped, we still enjoyed it and still looking forward to what they've got coming up next.
Definitely. Well, I think we will leave it there. Let us know what your thoughts are on Loki. Did you love it? Did you hate it? I think we liked it. We're just hoping for a bit more in season 2, I think.
Yeah. We're not sure where this is going to go, whether it's a season 2, whether it is in the new Doctor Strange. But, whatever it is, we are keen for it, So, let us know what you thought in the comments below. Slam that like button if you like what we do. Hit the bell for the notifications to be notified of what we've got coming up next. Make sure you subscribe to our channel to become part of the Headspace Films community. And most importantly of all, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.
See ya.